What is good, ladies and gentlemen? 2BRX episode 11 reaction. We are done with the Lucky Science story. So now we're going to be seeing what Queen has going on. She's like that typical badass female character from my understanding, like Marileona, Yodoichi, people like that. So this one should be very interesting. Miles already seen it. He said that it's a banger. So, hopefully he's right. Maybe we'll do a little rankings at the end, the best first episodes. I think that could be interesting to end this off. But hopefully everything worked, no technical difficulties, so this can appear on YouTube. If you don't know, this full reaction with all the footage is on our Patreon. So feel free to go to our Patreon, check it out, and enjoy 2BRX with us. Uh, Anything you got to say before we get started?
Uh, After seeing the episode, I'm not really moved by Queen. Now it's only episode one, um, but the way they present her in the trailers and all of that stuff, I was kind of expecting something different, and it's kind of there, but she's a little bit of a sissy on the inside.
Okay. So false bravado. All right. All right, let's see what we got. Let's dive into it. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff.
Look at that kid. Why is she taking university entrance exams?
Maybe she just looks young for her age?
Oh, we're gonna get a
Something,
little.
something you said, you were 100% right. You'll find out in a sense.
Okay. Um, I do think something interesting to pay attention to, which they have been including, is the timeline that is going on here because we've been jumping back and forth so much. This one is year 26. Honestly, we should have wrote it down, kind of like Game of Thrones. We should have just wrote down like when all this stuff is happening to understand the time of events. I'm sure someone's gonna make a full video like this is when this happened here, here, here. We kind of guess based off how old these people are, but they
I
do
will,
provide. Go ahead.
even without the dates though, you know that you get the time. And
Fair.
I got to understand that's why they incorporate different heroes that we've seen to give you the timeline. So we're gonna get one hero we've seen and one we haven't to kind of like help us wrap around like what's going on. And then there was something that was mentioned in Lucky Science episode that ties into this episode to let you know which happened first.
Okay. All right. I'm interested to see. This is a very creative way to tell your story, especially for a season one. I definitely respect it. I'm not gonna lie. I've never. Can you think of an anime that used so many different main characters to tell a full cohesive story? Not branch stories, just all one story, but from different perspectives.
No, I haven't. And so the part of me that's wondering is we get the tournament in this episode. I'm wondering that after the tournament takes place for the characters that we're introduced to, if an actual like main secular character is revealed. You know what I mean? Like they decide to hone in on one, and the story will follow in their place from there on and so forth. Because that's how the tournament kind of seems. Like whoever wins the tournament, they're the one. Like they're him. So
I hope that we don't have a central character, mainly because if we do, I'm concerned it's going to be Ling Ling, and I don't really like Ling Ling that much.
yeah,
So I kind of hope it doesn't. But one thing that you said that makes me think of it is like they can kind of do it like Mortal Kombat style, where you're going through the tournament, but you're going through everybody's different experiences of the tournament. But there will be one character that's going to be what's his name?
Liu Kang.
Uh, yeah, there's going to be a Liu Kang, but it's not all just about Liu Kang. So we'll
True.
see how that. I'm curious to see how they play that out. Oh, so this website's going to be dusty today. All right, pause. All right, we're back at it. Miles is in control. It wasn't rocking with me. Let's do it.
Love when geniuses meet other geniuses. That's that. That to me is what this episode was about.
What happened to taking your? What the hell? I wasn't done with that.
Pause real quick.
Will you?
Would you have laughed if you heard a little girl say that on TV?
No, but there's a reason why they laugh. If I
Say
was
that
in
again.
there, so there's a reason why they laugh. So if I was in their exact situation, then yeah, I might. But normally, like now, like as we are, no. But there's a reason why they laugh.
I can kind of guess, but let's see what happens then. Okay.
At least she's out there doing something. What are you doing? I refuse to listen to you losers until you stop daydreaming.
And the will of the people isn't easy to regulate. We need better guidance.
I wonder if that pink hair girl was important.
This is why I.
So
Wait.
She looked like the mech chick. To
That's
me.
what I was legit. I was like, didn't the lolly girl have pink hair as well?
Mhm. I
We
think
know Queen has inspired some people we already know, like Cyan, for example. So
I want to
I'm not mad at it. Okay.
become X. I will guide this world toward the order it deserves.
Oh, pause real quick. Is Lolly next? Actually,
maybe.
she might be next. I know there's someone because Johnny Boy is not after this one, but after the one that's coming up. So the one above Johnny Boy, because what they've done, which I respect, is they've kind of hinted at this is the next hero, so pay attention. So I think we might be Lolly might be the next one. We'll fact check that after the episode.
Johnny Boy might be a little closer than you think, brother.
Finding the
Oh, my dog. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
for us.
Pause.
Represents her.
So you got why they laughed now, right?
They're freaking misogynistic pigs. That's why they did laughs.
There's no female heroes.
This is interesting. I didn't expect. I mean, obviously, we knew Queen is going to be very important. We knew Queen is going to be extremely strong. It's interesting that a little girl is going to be the kind of the inspirer of female generations moving forward. But to be fair, it took a freaking genius to be that girl, to be honest.
Mhm.
But does she have abilities? I'm curious about this because the power system has been not straightforward at all.
Who, Queen?
Yeah, so I'm curious to see.
She does for sure, just not yet. At this point in time, she does not.
Interesting. Okay.
Yearning. It is a symbol of mankind's limitless potential. One day,
Oh, hold on,
After that
boss.
speech, the public is
2 decades since we've seen a woman be X.
Yeah.
It makes me confused when it comes to all the hints of the different types of X. So it makes it sound like X existed before the commission. But it also makes me question, like, when.
No, not necessarily, because 2 decades ago will be the 8th year of the commission.
No, you're right. You're right. Technically, X could have existed. But I'm trying to think this out.
So it's like there was probably a period of lawlessness where X existed, but I don't think it was until the commission that heroes started being dubbed numbers at all, because that's what the tournament that we see is for. The tournament determines your ranking by who beats who.
I guess the only thing I'm sure they're going to talk about it in this. How frequently the tournament happens is what I'm curious about.
Annually.
Oh, so that's why there's so many changes of X. That's what was kind of hinting. I'm like, I feel like we've had so many different types of X's so far.
Mhm.
But if it happens annually, now I see why.
It might even be more frequently than that, because in the episode, you'll see that Queen has tension with another X, and she's talking about they're all part of the same commission. The commissioner's like, "Yo, Queen is her. You got to lose on purpose." She's like, "Bitch, I earned this. I'm not gonna lose." I was thinking their fight was gonna take place maybe near the end of Queen's story, and it happens in the same episode. So It might be 3 times a year. It might be annually, which is what I honestly think it is. But it was just coming up in the episode. But it changes frequently, and you got to fight for it.
Interesting. This whole entire structure is very, very interesting. I'm curious to see how they keep on developing it. I've never seen someone use this art style. It's super simplistic, but I kind of like it. It's effective with what they're trying to do.
So I'm assuming without them telling us, a little bit of a time skip happens, right? Where we get to see Queen. She now has powers. We now see that although she didn't like directly influence Cyan, they're attributing Cyan's emergence to kind of Queen and her speech and her woman empowerment movement. This hero got elevated by Queen's speech. I think it's probably like a year or so time skip, or maybe.
I think what we're seeing right now is a lot of the story elements kind of coming full circle because now we're at the midway point, and it actually makes a lot of sense for Queen to be introduced to kind of establish this world in a different way than the other characters, because she's like supposed to be like the second most important hero after X. So that's interesting. I'm starting to see because they're starting to pull everything together. We begin isolated stories, but now this is the midway point. This is all right. Time to lock in. Queen's story is going to really show you what is going on in this world. Okay.
Years, so it's ending.
Smile.
So she's top 10, number undisclosed, and he's
Something tells me they made nice based off that dude. Oh, you got some boxing. Yo, what? Dude's getting cooked. Oh yeah, we got a broken ability for sure. Pause. This is interesting. Our whole perception of X was completely wrong coming into this series on how it works. Because they made it sound like, oh yeah, you just whoever gets the most belief is X, but obviously that is not the case. And if you can become X through the tournament, I'm trying to think. Based off how the power system works, is it based off how good you are, how much person's believing that certain person? Is it like freaking the MVP voting? Whoever is performing the best that year is going to get all the belief, and now they're the strongest for that year. I question that.
What I think is, if you're not locked in, it works like that, where you need other people's trust in order to, be able to fight, whatever the case may be. But when you believe in yourself, is when I believe that all that outside trust doesn't matter. We saw it with Lingling when he believed in himself, he was able to overcome that first villain with the letters that he fought. And it was a pivotal part of Queen's speech, the belief in oneself and trust in oneself and not others. I think that's the key. Trusting in yourself.
That's going to be interesting to see how everything manifests. But if you could definitely question if something requires you, because I do think trusting yourself can definitely be a part of it. You could argue that by trusting yourself, that resonates with more people, so they start believing in the trust that you believe in yourself. Shout out Gurren Lagann, kind of similar principle over there. Believe in me, believe in the version of you that I believe in, or something like that. I always forget how Kamina says it. But if that's the case, there's also that problem with all these heroes. Most of these heroes, every single year, doing whatever it takes for clicks, for clout, for views, for attention. I mean, that perfectly epitomizes the current social media era. So I think it's interesting.
But remember, who's the hero that came out of nowhere that nobody knew and was able to win? And why would that even be possible?
He doesn't even make sense. So he's going to be the anomaly, man. I don't know what's going on with that dude.
Mind you, his name's not X.
Miracles to DOS.
Yeah. Now we know it's definitely more than a title.
So for timeline's sake, this whole entire episode is happening at the same time as Lucky Cyan 3.
On your speech.
Made me think she's a sissy.
Pretend to speak on
Our boy. Wait, we might be getting Johnny Boy next. Maybe I was tripping.
Oh, right.
I think it's
Intros,
I think
dogs.
it's more
My
than
son,
cuteness.
Big Johnny.
I'm not gonna lie, it is adorable.
It is. Story needs that super extrovert.
That makes it.
Hey, Johnny Boy, I'm here for it. That's why I'm interested to see what this guy is all about. Because for people like him, especially with the fact that his dad used to be an X, and I want to talk about that X title. I think we hyped it up more than we actually should have. It actually doesn't seem as impressive as we think.
Yeah, it could be Mickey.
Yeah, I think we should talk about that.
Yeah.
But Johnny Boy, the fact that his father used to be an X, and then he has all this, his abilities seem interesting, and whatever this creature is, he could be a wild card, man. I feel like there's a lot of intrigue behind this kid. I'm locked in. How are we feeling about Johnny Boy's introduction?
I fuck with him. I just think every story needs that extrovert. He comes through, kind of like a dumb blonde. But everybody's gonna fuck with him. He looks like he's gonna be a pivotal part of his story. I think Big Johnny got some powers in him though. I don't think they're just attracted to him for no reason. Like, yes, he's cute, but I think there's more to it, and we're gonna see more of his animals that do different effects, similar to Big Johnny. But no, I fuck with him. I think he's cool. I love his grip is cool. I like the way he looks. I like him. I think he's a cool character.
Yeah, I'm interested in Johnny Boy as well. This character, I think Lonnie said in our reaction, that could sell. That's a merch that a lot of people, hey man, I gotta get a B plushie, gonna buy that little cat creature or whatever it is. And I always one of the great things about anime that makes it more interesting is certain character dynamics and character interactions. Um, some of them for the first two with Esol and whatchamacallit and Ling Ling, some of those were cool, but nothing really moved me. Cyan and Luau was the best one so far, but I'm curious to see what I don't know if this is just a one-time thing or Johnny Boy and Queen could be have a longer interaction throughout the anime. But I'm here for it. They would definitely contrast each other very well as characters.
It was okay.
With FOMO altering the way we
You're 34 after
interact
the
as of
convention.
late, the
So 6-year
Like-
time skip.
Damn, they are moving in this timeline.
So we know that Lucky Cyan in episode 2 and
Oh.
episode 3 was a 6-year time skip. So all of the training, all of that was a 6-year time skip, roughly. Because we'll find out because of an event in this episode that episode 3 of Lucky Cyan is happening at the same time as this one. And then the end of this episode happens at the same time as the end of Lucky Cyan 3.
B.S.S has empowered
Okay,
women to
I
be
also just fact checked something.
Thanks to this trend,
So,
heroin
pause.
is thriving.
Queen only has 2 episodes.
Ah.
So it's this one and next one. After Queen is Lolly, so we're right about that. She also has 2 episodes. And unfortunately, we're not getting Johnny Boy yet. We get Ghostblade, the emo dude, after Lolly. He gets 2 episodes. And then the only person who has 3 episodes moving forward is Johnny Boy. The only one.
Yeah.
So Ghostblade has 2, Johnny Boy has 3, the Tower has 1, Dragon Boy, the Bakugo dude, has 2, the dog has 1, and then we ended up with X having 1.
To all of this shit, because you get to understand how deep the politics in Eastol's story, how deep that shit was getting played. That shit was 3D level chess, what the cafe owner was doing.
Oh, all these CEOs competing with one another is interesting. While all those type of characters that like are nonchalant, have so much power, those ones are tricky. Those ones are tricky. Big villain here though.
So we know who he is. We got his name officially, his real name, and we know what corporation he works for now.
Mighty Glory, MG. And they said earlier, Blonde Dude said that he had a falling out with MG as well.
Yeah, and that he's ahead because of his discoverance of Queen.
All these politics, man.
It's seeming like Esol. Hey, Esol's his answer to try to get ahead of Queen's Corporation. And also, it might add, who was I wonder who Moon was signed to and how that plays a part into it. What if Moon was signed into the same organization as Queen, as the Boa, all the other females, and that's why she was the one that was killed?
Yeah, we technically don't know who Moon and Nice are signed to. We just know their agent, and then they're alluded to their agent talking to someone, their boss, but we don't know who he is out of all the people we've met. So, okay, man. Rock Lee Fomo takes over MG. You hear that? Pause. And then we got this going on. So this is Furman. When this actually happened, that put him in the top 10. They talked about how Dragon Boy's fighting style is up for debate because that dude just be beating people
He brutalizes people. Yeah,
it's basically Batman. That dude just beats the crap out of people until they're bloody and gone. But he's not nearly as doesn't have the same type of moral compass, it seems, like Batman.
Get the job done, man. Stop sending them to Arkham.
Hey, man. Fair enough. That girl Fire, man. She's singing cooking.
Man, she can't sing.
Hey. Oh, look at him talking that talk.
Real from Black Clover.
I'm not mad at that.
I think so too.
Hopefully he does more than Real does, because Real hasn't done it.
I know what he should be able to do. Should
No,
be able to do.
He's been talking about that final masterpiece for years, bro.
Don't like this one.
Oh, they better box for real.
Come y'all.
Where is Boa?
And her opponent.
Where's Boa?
Mysterious contestant who
Oh, he's here. That's crazy. It's just like oh, we here. Yo. No damn.
Mile, man. This is my favorite character, y'all. You just can't beat this aura, man.
Nah, I'm be honest. All the characters that we've hyped up for aura, he might trump all of them. Ain't no way. He's in a world where belief and notoriety and attention matters. Nobody knows who he is, and he's no different than everybody in the tournament. That's crazy. That
walks up, tailored suit, smiling, flipping his little coin, trolling and shit. I like this guy.
Hey man, we thought Sun Jin-woo was good. People need to lock into a true aura farmer that deserves to get that credit, man. Give it to this dude. He might fold at the end though, so we will see how everything plays out. But I'm not gonna lie. This guy got it. He got it. He's such an anomaly. He doesn't make sense in the course of the series. They don't even know that. Like, come on.
Is now X, more at 6.
So he just became
I grab my chest,
seconds.
ready to watch
without nobody knowing who he is. He just became X. That doesn't make sense for what. Uh-oh. You know what that means? Who's your daughter? Oh. Man, oh man. It's unfair that this was only 23 minutes long, but we got so much stuff in the course of 23 minutes. It's actually insane. At the very end, when we're thinking of X, the character, I'm so curious to see what does he plan to do? What is his goal? Showing up all of a sudden, basically changing how everything is. Because we saw, I don't know if you saw the character trailer. When you watch the character trailer of X, a lot of people just did not know anything about him. They just made up some ideas. People were like, well, is this guy like a god or something? But based on how they phrase this, he was already stronger than everyone before anybody even believed in him.
That's my believing in yourself. My believing in yourself theory rides on him. Because there's been no signs that there's a multiverse or another plane of existence or whatever. There's no way he could be this powerful. without trust or fear, unless they just go a different route and introduce something completely new. I just think he probably just believes in himself, and that's how it manifested.
Hmm. It's tough. He is an anomaly for all intents and purposes for what the series is. As for Boa, she about to crash out crazy. We see fear kind of manifesting around her. She just found out that she is the daughter of a person that's very close to the guy that's the head. We don't even know their relationship technically, but she's the daughter, so she's gonna think that. I don't know how you blame Queen here because Queen is not the one who beat your ass. So this is gonna be some nonsense by Boa. It seems like.
Yeah, she's just angry, and I feel like that's just how the fear works. You just get angry and angry and angrier, like beyond your control, beyond all reason, because like it doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, like even if we conspired to have you get defeated, why would we get me defeated too? She's just aiming a gun anywhere because she's just mad. I think she'll get handled next episode. But my question to you is, I'm not really sold by Queen's powers. Um, Birdman obviously had like a way to circumvent it because the way his powers work. But it just seems like if you have enough willpower, you can, how she put it, break her rules where they're not ironclad. If I believe I can get past your rule doesn't mean anything. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out, fighting like a fear monster, especially one as strong as like Boa, who was an X.
Yeah, I mean, she could definitely be one of those type of characters, which I very much resonate to. In terms of someone who believes that they are not only believe, like it's proven that she's a genius. She's there's very few people like her. She's a one of one. She wants to change the world. She believes she could do it. Everybody around her believes she can do it. And then when she comes across something that is beyond her expectation, her mind could definitely not take it. That's possible. She could be that one, that type of character. It is a little weak sauce if she ends up being that type of character, but it could be good development for her because believing that you're at the pinnacle is not good enough. You have to, unless you're just a freaking god that doesn't make sense, like maybe X's. You gotta humble yourself sometimes. So this could be a good humbling opportunity. To be fair to Queen though, she went up against Boa, and Boa was technically X, so technically she was stronger than her. But I don't know. It's really hard to tell.
Nah, Johnny saved Queen for sure.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Boa breaking out of Queen's ability.
Oh, I got you. She's an X, so she's supposed to. That's what she's supposed to do. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
So I don't know. I wouldn't be too upset about that if that's the case, but at the same time, she's gonna have to figure out how to deal with people who are on her level or stronger than her, because she can't just rule everybody. They ain't gonna just fall in line. We'll see. We'll see, man. So I'm curious to see what her abilities do. I am curious to see how she uses it in combat. And the conversation. Do you think it will end with Queen's ability being as good as Science? Because I feel like Science, in terms of everything her abilities can do, is the second best. Not mentioning freaking X.
I'm only gonna say yeah because even in this episode, Science still saying I still don't know how this shit really works. So I feel like maybe right now Queens is better, but when Science finds out how her shit really works and she can get more like practical use out of it, it'll far surpass Queens. I'm not moved by Queen shit at all. I'm not gonna lie.
She definitely needs it to be tested. I feel like she's gonna have it tested though. Against Boa, literally next episode. Boa's gonna try to fight her, attack her. And it's not a situation where it's like, okay, Queen still has a. Now people are shitting on Queen too. She got no dip just like Boa did. So
Yeah.
they both kind of in the same spot right now. But okay, I'm here for it. Shout out Johnny Boy with a big time appearance. I'm kind of concerned though.
What's up?
I'm concerned Johnny Boy's gonna be a villain. I don't.
A
I'm,
villain.
bro. If you are correct, I'm kind of with you. If we're correct, where that little creature thing can kind of force you to like it, that's a villain ability. That's just a villain ability. I can't question it. That's some potential messed up shit right there. That's not good. I'm concerned. I don't want him to be a villain.
I'm concerned too. Because why is the pet Big Johnny? That's what was bothering me. I'm like, wait, if you're the pet's dad, why are you Little Johnny? And then I can't pinpoint. No, like it's very rare you meet a character you have no indication of what their goal is. He's just like, oh, I'm just chilling. Oh, there's some new heroes around. Well, there's a lot of missions anyway. Let me just go hang out with them, say what's up. But what do you want out of these people? You just want to be friends? Is it really that simple?
I hope it is. I don't want the
Just
kid.
homies?
I don't want it to be a situation where I'm kind of with you where it's like that little creature is much more nefarious because if you watch the character trailer, it has a transformation. Like him and that thing has a transformation, they become pretty badass. I just hope it's not a situation where the transformation is like the evil version of it and it's really just evil and it's been using oh man, I would it'll make things interesting, but I want Johnny Boy to be a good guy.
Because it could be a gag, but when Queen first got enamored by it, it made like a noise, and then she's like, "Yo, like I can't move. I have to look at it. Like maybe it could be a gag. I don't think it's a gag though. I don't.
That's why I'm concerned. He's a wild card, and it says something that he's the only one moving forward that has 3 episodes. So there's going to be a lot to his character. A lot of the characters have been solely exposing what this world is. It's possible Johnny Boy may reveal like who the true villain in the series is. Because there's also that thing where his dad used to be X. And did you watch the Johnny Boy character trailer?
Yeah.
Remember that moment where the reporters were talking shit? And then all those big ass creatures came out of nowhere? He has a mean side. He has some negative feelings towards his dad.
For sure.
And so here's hoping Johnny Boy stays a good guy. Here's hope.
Interesting character.
For sure. But the next one we're gonna get is Lolly. And we got one little cameo of her.
Which means we're getting another time skip because there's no way that little kid is going to be what's featured in the episode.
To be fair, we saw the little kid when she was like 14. Right now, she's like 18, I think they said. No, she has to be older than 18. Queen, yeah, she has to be older than 18.
Well, she might be younger.
It
was year 28 that she graduated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they mentioned that she made her mark as a top 10 hero before she turned 18. So she's not 18 yet.
So she's around there. At the very least, she's around there, 17, 18. So this girl could be a few years older. Curious to see how Queen inspired her to be a hero. But anything else? Oh, we got a lot from the CEOs and stuff.
I like the politics. I don't know if you want to get deep into it, but I think that part of the story is going to be very, very interesting. Seeing like how much of this stuff is Mickey, who's a real top 10 hero, who's not, because it seems like they got the emergence of social media in their world, and kind of like similar to real life, different movements kind of influence different heroes. They're kind of having like their feminist movement right now with Queen and Boa and all of them. So a lot more of this can be fabricated than we had thought. We had got Ling Ling, and that might be like the final evolution of the fabrication that we see in some of these other hero stories as we get there.
Yeah, we'll see how everything plays out. We've met a lot of heroes so far. We've got a mention of Dragon Boy as well in this episode. So we pretty much have a lot of mentions of these main heroes. We've yet to see the dog, technically in the episode, or a mention of the dog. And we've yet to see Ghostblade, the assassin. He's definitely like a hired assassin for one of these CEOs, like 100%. He's more than likely. I'll be surprised if he ends up just being like a good guy that takes out only bad guys. Like, I mean, I guess he could be, but we'll see. Anything else you got?
If you're good.
All right. With that said, that's full reaction to ERX episode 11. It's one of those episodes where not a lot happened in terms of like a big moment. Well, technically, X showing up is a freaking huge moment, but it was just a bunch of little things that mean so much that happened in this episode, which I appreciate. So shout out, y'all have a good one. Like and subscribe. Take care.